Avast ye mateys, welcome back to the 21st Garden State Film Festival located in beautiful Asbury Park, New Jersey. We're by the ocean, by the sea, and that's going to be very relevant. You're going to see why in a second. My name is Ming Chen. I am here at the Shared Universe Podcast Lounge. I am here with
CJ Cullen,
Cosmo DeGennaro,
and I have two amazing gentlemen. They just deboarded their pirate ship, and we're talking about their film. Could you please introduce yourself?
Yeah. I'm Kyle Farmer. I'm the director of The Tale of Captain Fortyhands.
And I'm Nishaad Trivedi. I was the producer of The Tale of Captain Fortyhands.
Yes. This makes me very happy. We wanted to do all this like talking like a pirate like all weekend, but that didn't last very long. So
we tried on set as much as we could.
Really?
Yeah.
Can you tell us about? I'm gonna put up the poster right here. The Tale of Captain Fortyhands. Can you tell us about this amazing project? Already the title we're in. We're in.
Do a pirate movie, basically.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we've talked about the origin story a bunch of times, and we realized that it ultimately boils down to a drunk text as the initial inspiration.
Yes.
Hence the title, and hence the lore, and kind of like the whole idea of it. But so we. A big part of this idea was you always wanted to make a pirate movie.
Yes.
Since we started at Chapman University.
Doesn't everybody?
Yeah, it doesn't everybody.
Yeah, but how many actually do? Not very many.
Nobody.
Sounds
great.
So we heard about this like pirate ship tour in Big Bear Lake in California. So it was like this third scale pirate ship, and we're like, we're gonna shoot on the pirate ship on Big Bear. And that's not where we ended up, but that was the initial
idea.
Inspiration. We actually ended up shooting on the actual coast.
In San Diego. On the HMS Surprise, which
building
was
a set and like.
So beautiful.
Ship of Master and Commander. But yeah, it was definitely an undertaking. We were very lucky. We had a lot of great resources from the school. We had some fantastic craftspeople, our cinematographer, our production designer, and so I think really having all that talent in one place was what really helped to make this happen.
Right. So how do you go from a drunk text to the HMS Surprise? You said in San Diego, like the ship where they shot Master and Commander, Russell Crowe.
Yeah.
Like what? Like connect the dots for me, because that's I've sent a lot of drunk texts.
Yeah.
And all the nonsense that I spew in my drunk texts, they never come true.
They never come true. You never made a pirate movie.
But you guys did. Can you connect those two dots for us?
All of ours came true.
I think
imagine.
One of them did.
Yeah.
I think what happened was it's like one of those where it's like, okay, this idea is stupid.
Yes.
All right, now okay, we can kind of do this.
Yes.
I think another thing that was important is timing. This came out right as we're kind of pulling out a pandemic.
Yes,
we wanted
sure.
to do something light and fun and something, I want something
Adventurous.
poppy that will be kind of go against the mold of what you might see
Right.
out of a college program. So it was part of a program that was called the Producer Initiated Program at Chapman.
Okay.
So it was actually really great. I got to work with a screenwriter off of a treatment I wrote.
Yeah.
We had a take. Kyle, who I lived with at the time, made me pitch like crazy. And then he signed on as director, and
Amazing.
Somehow you convinced me, that
Yeah.
it was actually a good idea. But so we had a lot of time to develop it in the program, to develop the script. So we started off with a completely different story, but the core Captain Fortyhands character was the core of the whole thing, and we ended up telling this story that was actually kind of an emotional core about a father and son reconnecting. Under the guise of this, alcoholic pirate lifestyle. So,
How'd you go about casting for this casting process?
Yeah, it was an effort. I think it took about 3 months to get all of our 4 kind of main parts. But the big finding Captain Fortyhands, we found this guy Brock Morse, who is amazing, and is actually, he just fits the role so well. So we actually. When we had built this set, we cast his role after we had already kind of had the plans in place.
Okay.
And he's extremely tall. So I think he's like 6'10" or something.
Yeah, something ridiculous.
Wow.
Maybe not that tall,
Yeah,
maybe
like
like 6'8". But
tall.
But basically, like we saw that where we had built the beams was kind of like just below his head.
Oh, man,
So,
okay.
So we were, we ran into all these kind of challenges along the way because there's so many moving parts.
Right.
But he was just such kind of like a large, like booming, captain presence that we had to who had to go with him, and it was really fun. We also had a character Steelhead, who had a backstory of having this like plate of steel implanted in his head, and that's why he's got this strange kind of mannerisms. And we found this guy Jeremiah Benjamin, who sent in this self-tape of him like kind of jumping around and screaming. And
It's like, all right, that's the guy.
and we're like, that's the
our
guy.
guy.
That's the guy.
So it was amazing. There's a lot of serendipity.
That's awesome. When did you script this? Like, when did you come up with the idea? How long did it take to script? And when did you shoot this?
Yeah, I mean, so I think the initial script we had right about May-ish
Of
2021.
Okay.
Yeah.
We worked through the summer.
Right.
I think by like September we realized we didn't like that script, threw it out, got a new
Wow.
script.
So you went all completely back to the drawing board.
And then we had pre-production kind of November and December until like that like winter
Yeah.
shutdown. And then we have at Chapman an interterm, so it's like 4 weeks of
Yeah.
nothing. But for us, it was 4 weeks of pre-production
Right.
chaos. So when we came back from like Christmas vacation, it was 100 miles an hour on the floor. I think we had about 2.5 weeks of pre-production.
Okay.
Shot for 6 days.
6-day production. Okay.
6-day production, and then we had about a 2 to 3 month post.
Wow. Okay.
Wow.
That
What inspires you? What pirate movie inspired you to do something like
there
this?
are a few out there. There's the
There
Rennie
are.
Harlan one. There's obviously Pirates of the Caribbean. I mean Goonies.
Yeah.
You can even count
Treasure
Goonies.
Island, I
Treasure
mean.
Island.
Well, I mean, one of the original inspirations, I think that we ended up kind of like tonally something different, but we really liked Taika Waititi's comedy style that was coming out, and we actually didn't know about Our Flag Means Death, which
Yeah.
is the pirate show that we actually didn't know about back
Yeah.
I
when
think
we
the
started
trailer
out.
dropped the day after we wrapped.
Right. It's like, whoa, what's this?
production.
Yeah.
And we're like, no, we're like right on that wavelength because
Yeah.
we're thinking it's been so long. There's no other pirate franchise, and we wanted to do something that was
Right.
like a little bit of a parody kind of on that as well. So yeah, I mean, that's where that came from.
Yeah. Obviously, the pirate ship, very important piece to your production. How hard was it finding a pirate ship that would allow you to
Yeah.
shoot to shoot on?
Well,
First of all, Big Bear Lake is typically known as a skiing, snowboarding community. Some people buy houses out there where they go to, and it's landlocked, right?
Yeah.
So I didn't know there was a 3/4 scale pirate ship there, much less a tour. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, so I mean that's one of the reasons we didn't end up shooting in Big Bear was the snow
Yeah.
and then it froze over. So the pirate ship is like, look, it's one of these scenarios where there are 5 options. There's only 5 antique ships within drivable distance of Chapman University.
Right. So you have 5. You found 5.
Yeah.
Okay.
5 pirate ships.
Yeah, there was like 3 of different eras where we ended up shooting in this the Maritime Museum in San Diego.
Yeah.
There was couple little bit more up north in LA, one docked in Laguna. This is the one I think that ended up fitting, and we were very lucky. The museum played ball. They
Yeah.
cut down their rate. They let us, shoot. It was still expensive, but at a
Sure.
reduced student rate.
Okay. Cool.
But because of that, it was like but we had to include travel time because if we had stayed over and had to house everyone, especially in the pandemic with pandemic rules,
Yeah.
would have been too expensive.
Right.
So we only had 7 hours on that ship.
Wow.
That's pretty tight.
yeah.
Yeah. And so
Jeez.
that was a wild.
Like you can't waste time.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so
I mean, another thing too was we're right next to the airport. There's San Diego car culture, so you've got those engines revving every
Yep. Sure.
2
And
minutes.
and then San Diego Airport's one of the biggest ones in the world.
Right.
So there's, yeah.
So and it's like even with all the pre-production that we did and the scouts and everything, we showed up that day and realized we had even less clearance like to shoot actually around the ship
Right.
without catching docks and roadways and the airplanes and whatever. So we were like rebuilding the shot list like on the fly to my dismay.
Yeah.
It was extremely.
I was
extremely
sitting
stressful,
underneath
but we
the
did it.
ship, relaxed with my computer.
Sure,
But like, you know,
sure.
that's
You're still working, still
it's
working.
Still working. I mean, we
Come up every once in a while. You ready for lunch yet?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would like come up, look at the monitor, be like, it's looking good, guys. And
Yeah,
go
great
back.
job. Keep it going.
I
Keep
got
it going.
the ship. I did my job.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah,
did
I
you?
do.
I mean, I imagine you used that whole 7 hours, and I mean, I'm sure you could have used more.
Yeah.
But like,
Yeah.
how were you able to get everything you needed in that window?
We were up until literally the last minute, and we were loading our equipment off of a gangplank, like literally off of like 2 foot wide.
Yep.
So after we wrapped that last shot, I was like, wait, we need one more thing because we missed a piece of coverage because of how we restructured things, and he was like looking at me like I'm going to kill you.
Yeah, but you got to get it.
I
We
Were you-
trust,
got it.
I
We
trust
got it.
Kyle as
Yeah.
a filmmaker.
Sure.
We've worked before, and
Yeah.
if he says we need it,
Yep, you
I
need
know
it.
he
Yeah, he needs
understands.
it.
you were able to get it.
Yeah, we
Last
were
second.
down to I think probably 2 minutes.
Wow.
We were out before our
Wow.
Yeah.
time. So yeah.
You guys?
Yeah. What was the budget like for this film?
Yeah, it was so. I mean, it's kind of weird and outsized to say exactly because we were very lucky. We had so everything that wasn't above deck was shot on a soundstage. So we had free soundstage access with Chapman. We had a fantastic scene shop that we could use. We had a lot of equipment we got like lights, cameras. So that not included, we spent about 25,000.
Okay,
all in
yeah.
With
So,
post.
I mean, relatively low budget for sure.
Low budget. It was really about like bang for buck. Like,
Right.
hey, we need a fight scene. Who do we know who's like a junior fight choreographer? that
Right,
did
like
a
we wanted
great
to look
job?
awesome. So yeah,
swords.
and we'll.
Yeah, swords. It was fantastic, but it was really about.
Who happened to be an amusement park sword trainer. And
Oh
knew-
wow!
Wow.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
That's
Ryan's
amazing.
very cool. He really
Okay,
helped
like very
us.
theatrical, like swordsmanship. So that's amazing.
But it was really about minimizing waste and making sure every dollar appeared on screen.
Right.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I've been asking everybody like, what was the biggest challenge shooting this thing? But I mean, you're shooting on a ship that you have for 7 hours.
That's pretty big.
It's a pirate movie. I mean, that's a challenge in and of
Yeah,
itself.
that's up.
But I mean, was there anything that stood out? I was like, oh man, that was tough.
Anything more?
I mean,
Or anything more? Yeah.
Anything more than
Or
that?
was there anything that's like, man, I can't believe we pulled that off?
Yeah, I'll jump in and then I'll let you. They might be different.
I was gonna say, so our lead actor almost didn't fit in the set. That was a big one.
Okay.
We have that 7-hour shooting day. We have like, so there were weapons things we had to deal with, right? So we were getting kind of prop swords, and we had one that broke during shooting.
Right.
It's
It's like, all right, give me the backup. Like, what backup? Like,
Yeah,
okay.
exactly. Yeah, that sort of situation. And just, also, I mean, there's so many talented people that adapted, but were also, students for the most part.
Yeah.
Were recently graduated. So like, we had an amazing makeup artist as well that was unable to get more of our transfer prosthetics to create that steelhead
Right,
stitching
okay.
thing. So they just didn't have any more.
Right.
She wasn't able to order them. And so she painted those stitches on for the last day of the shoot.
By hand.
Yeah, so that when we weren't shooting close-ups and we were shooting wides, and it looked amazing.
Yeah,
Wow.
matched.
Even
Okay.
now. So there were a lot of those things too. Is that when you get to work with a bunch of talented people, it's like you're amazed by the saves that come in at the last moment.
I
minute.
think, jumping off that, I think for me it was the and problem. It's like we're gonna do sword fight, and we're on the ship, and
Right.
we're in water, and
Yes.
and so it was like all these things and moving pieces, but it was also like making sure at its core we still had those performances, that
Yeah.
story that struck, because and so I think for me that was the biggest challenge is trusting a fantastic team. Like I trusted Kyle to get the performances, so I didn't have to worry about that.
Right.
And so I think it was really like maintaining focus in the chaos.
Yeah.
How difficult was it to choreograph a fight scene with swords plus on a ship?
Yeah. So the actual sword fight sequence took place inside of our set. So what we did was we kind of like marked out a box on your driveway, and we had rehearsals with our actors. But I really knew nothing about fight choreography. And Ryan didn't know a whole lot about, the process of kind of creating shots and stuff. So we both had an idea of what it was going to look like.
Yeah.
And we came in and we just piece by piece worked together with actors that had like no stunt experience either. So I was like, on the first day, I'm like, this is not going to go well because nobody knows how to use their body, but it was really just came down to these sort of like core movements that he taught us about. That once you kind of get down these, I think it's like 7 or 8 positions, you can just combine them into a whole combination of kind of sword maneuvers. So.
It's not easy to do that by choreography at all.
I mean, we took an attempt on trying to do it.
Yeah, we did it in high school, but we didn't have the stunt people or choreographer. We just did it, right?
Yeah.
And you guys screened yesterday?
We screened yesterday.
And how was the reaction?
Oh, it's great. It's like really fun always to see it with like a new group of people.
Yeah.
And, you know, I think it's loud, it's boisterous.
Right.
I like when the audience gets a little loud. And
Yep, they get into it. They get into it.
Yeah.
That's cool. How many other fests have you played at?
Yeah, what's
are you
next?
playing at Future Fest? Is the plan to submit it to as many fests as possible?
Yeah, we've been in, I think, about 9 or 10 festivals. We have some coming up. We're going to be in Phoenix next week.
Nice. Okay. Fantastic.
Did you play it out in LA?
Yeah, we had a couple. We showed at the San Pedro Film Fest, which is where we filmed part of it.
Yeah.
So that was
Cool.
fun.
You got to have it screen on a pirate ship.
I know. I think
Oh,
that's the next thing we need to figure out.
So there's like a pirate festival in Catalina Island.
Oh,
Really?
man.
We gotta get it
wow.
done
That's
somehow,
kind
you
of
know?
in the backyard.
That's so cool though, a pirate ship. I just keep thinking about that. Like the only ones I see are like at a mini golf courses. Like,
Yeah, that's not the same.
They're not the same.
No, it's
not the
incredible.
same.
We like
That was our plan C.
yeah. But we like step on board the ship and it's one of those where it's like the location dictates the tone. It just
Yeah.
takes your breath away. Like all the ropes, the fact that this thing actually sailed. It's like a really
Yeah, it's real.
Like,
it's a real
like
show.
Going back in time, me and you. What was the one thing you always wanted to do?
I mean, find
thinking
it.
pirate ship. I'm thinking pirate ship.
Oh,
thinking
I wanted
what?
to be the Goonies.
The
yes.
Goonies,
I wanted
of
to be
course.
the
See,
Goonies,
that's
yes.
what
I wanted to
We
find
wanted to-
one-eyed Willie's treasure.
We
yes.
wanted to find a treasure and be
I
on that
still
boat.
do. I
still
still
do
do,
to this
yeah.
day. Yes,
For sure.
Goonies too. When we get to be on it with
Yeah,
all
exactly.
the new cast.
Yeah. Is there a website, a trailer, social media?
Yeah, I think on Instagram we're at Pirate Thesis. That's the best.
Pirate Thesis? Okay.
We keep that maintained kind of with our
Cool,
screenings. If they're in your area, you know, of course, we'd love for you to check it out.
Oh, yeah, for
see it
sure.
with an audience.
Absolutely.
And, yeah.
That's awesome.
Great.
I mean,
Anything else?
we found the ultimate booty right here, my friends. That was the tail of
Thank
Captain
you.
Fortyhands, my friends. Thank you so much for
Thank
jumping
you.
over.
Thank you, guys.
Is this your first time at the Garden State Film Festival?
Yes.
Oh,
Awesome.
Yeah. How great is it?
It's incredible. This
Yeah.
is like
Yeah.
such a fantastic energy of filmmakers, and
Welcome.
the location here it's so beautiful. I'm
Yeah.
glad we get to screen near the ocean.
Welcome
Um,
to Asbury Park,
Yeah,
New Jersey.
I'm glad the sun came out for you guys.
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe a pirate ship will go by. I don't
Maybe
know.
you'll see Bruce Springsteen walking
Or
around.
you'll see Bruce Springsteen. Yeah, we just don't know. We
You
just
say
don't
his name
know.
3 times and he appears.
He'll appear.
Yeah.
He does walk on that boardwalk.
Sometimes
randomly.
he does. Yeah,
yes.
that's where it all started. So, congratulations, guys. And they don't pick everybody here, so that's no small feat that getting in here. And I'm glad everything went well.
Yes.
Welcome to Jersey, and continued success, my friends.
Thank you.
Wait,
What's next?
What's next?
We have
What
some
else can
stuff
you
in
go
the-
from pirates to what?
Yeah.
What's the next? Spaceships?
We've been teasing dinosaurs.
Oh
Dinosaurs is
man.
in
Okay.
the canon,
Okay. We're
yeah.
in.
Wow.
Okay, we're in for sure.
Wow.
Awesome. Thank you guys. Thank you guys for watching. You still have time to catch some films. Get down here at gsff.org. Or if you're already here, check out the films or just come hang out with us. So
Yes.
thank you, CJ. Thank you, Cosmo. Thank you guys. We'll see you.